Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to Earth Wisdom Fire Tarot and to 2020. Happy New Year. This is going to be your forecast looking at the major lessons you may be encountering this year. This is a general reading, so it might not apply to everyone. It can't really. But what's cool is that you can get a personal version of this reading and you can get, it can kind of build on the more general themes going on in these zodiac readings on the channel. So they're designed kind of to work together. So if you'd like to get a personal version of this reading for 2020, you can find that information down below in the description box. It is $66, a very special price for how long the reading is going to be and how in depth. So definitely take advantage of that. So I already pulled some cards from the Tantric Dakini Oracle just to get a read on the energy in advance. So I've kind of been meditating on this for a while. And the first card out is the Just Passing Through card, which has this beautiful wing image on here. And I feel like this is really about not getting overburdened, like not getting held down and held back by really heavy circumstances, like being able to just see the higher perspective of everything and not get sucked into things. And I feel like this is really important because of this kind of rampant problem of, being programmed within the matrix. I wouldn't say it's a problem, it's kind of like designed that way. But what I mean is that a lot of people don't realize like how much of their behavior and their actions are unconscious. Like they're just completely happening because of stuff that's happening, stuff that has been undealt with in their shadow. So I feel like this Just Passing Through card is you being able to, be in situations, learn your lessons from them, but not get dragged down into things that don't matter. So you're able to really focus on what's most important. And the next card really goes along well with that, with the 43 Mount Meru, center of the universe. So I really love this combination. There's clouds actually in both of these. You can see the sky, so there's space here. There's like air to breathe, and you're an air sign. So that feels like it just really works with your energy, especially this one too, because it's because like you're a fixed air being an Aquarius. So this mountain feels like very stable, like unmoving. Um, but you can also see the sky and the clouds. And if this was like a video, you could probably even see the clouds moving, especially if it was like a time lapse. So I just really feel like there's been a lot of movement in 2019, and that's going to continue into 2020. And I feel like the more air that you breathe, the more freedom you experience, the easier it's going to be for you to experience the kind of spiritual growth you're looking to experience, and to sort of continue whatever awakening journey you're on without a lot of resistance. I feel a lot of freedom from both of these cards. I feel a lot of self-discipline as well, which really goes along with this 14, which is puja and purification. And in this card, a ritual is being depicted. So I feel, and this is related to the temperance card in the traditional tarot. So I really feel like wow, this is powerful, powerful energy for being able to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. And I feel like, 2019 has already been that kind of year where you've accomplished a lot of your goals. I also feel like with the purification energy, though, that there may have been some really difficult circumstances that, you know, caused you to purge some energy that I was talking about before, that was like lurking in your subconscious, that can make you act or behave in certain ways that consciously you wouldn't think you would, So I think that there were some definite times in 2019 where you surprised yourself with how you reacted to a certain situation. And I feel like you needed to purge, and these were catalysts, like these situations were catalysts for you to purge energy that was no longer serving you. And the more layers that you peeled back on your healing journey, the closer you came to really powerful and profound spiritual truths. And that is going to definitely continue into 2020. So let's look at the tarot and just see what specifically you may be leaving behind in 2019. or what you may be building on. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords. Just like I said, stressful year. May have experienced a lot of mental anguish. I think that you were probably really hard on yourself. There were a lot of moments maybe where you felt like your psyche was fracturing. You might have had some mental breakdowns, or you may have just been privy to this in other people. You just kind of absorbed that energy. I feel like, this was definitely an initiation year for you in 2019, initiating you into a brand new cycle. So a lot kind of had to be purged, had to be cleared. You had to move on from a lot of things with the Six of Swords. And I feel like it was a lot of the programming. It was a lot of the mental programming that was keeping you stuck in cycles of karma, that you had to deliberately decide you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to participate in those cycles anymore. And you had to sort of break yourself out. So you are the only one who can really break yourself free. And this Nine of Swords is really powerful because it's like when you have accumulated so many illusions and you have so many assumptions and you have so many ideas, about how things should be, and there's this huge gulf between the way you think things should be and the way they are. And that's what kind of brings all this pressure, and it's all internal. So when you can actually see past those illusions and see things for what they are, that's where, these energies are really coming in here. That's when you can really step fully into consciously creating your reality. So this God of Wands is really you being able to use the space that you created from the difficulty, from the negative thinking, from the programming, to create your reality the way that you want it to. And this God of Wands is a very determined energy. It's a very fiery, passionate energy. And I feel like this has a lot to do with mission. So you may have really embraced your mission in 2019 or just gotten a lot of clarity about it. And you may have already taken a lot of steps towards it, because this God of Wands is like kind of like a fully realized version of somebody who's on this spiritual path, who's like very focused and determined and very clear about where they're headed and what they want to create. Like they don't feel limited, they don't feel held back, they don't feel, like they don't buy into other people's kind of doubts. You know what I mean? They're very self-confident. So I feel like you definitely stepped kind of into that, or at least you saw glimpses of that's where you're going to be heading. So with the Wheel of Fortune, this is, like I said, about, the wheel of karma really really coming full circle. You've really come full circle on a lot of lessons. At the same time, you're really breaking free from a cycle and being able to start fresh, start anew. So 2020, it feels like, is starting out, with you almost having like a blank slate. Let's see. I'm going to pull some cards just for the beginning of 2020, and then separately I'll pull some cards for the end of 2020. So now we got the Goddess of Wands. So we have the God and the Goddess of Wands here. So I feel like with this energy, this could actually be a couple. This could be you and another person. You're definitely mirrors if that's the case, meaning that if there are lessons that they're going through, it's something that you were going through at some part in your journey, or you may have been going through it at the same time. But this Goddess of Wands coming out now is really the magnetism. Like you have the determination, you have the fire, you have the drive to accomplish what you want to accomplish or create the life that you want. And now with the Goddess of Wands, you're opening yourself up to receiving, the manifestations, to knowing that you deserve the very best, that you deserve, those blessings in your life. So the Hangman is one of the most surrendered cards of the deck. It's like where you're really deciding not to get in your own way. You're kind of taking yourself out of any sort of games of control or any sort of misconceptions about, you know, how much power you have in any situation. You're just kind of like taking yourself out of it. And I feel like this is really in direct response to the Nine of Swords energy that might have been keeping you up at night. You might have had trouble sleeping, you might have had trouble with your health because of the stress. And I feel like the Hangman is your deliberate sort of decision to get off of that cycle of stress and to relax. So with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like in the early part of this year, you're really weighing your priorities and you're prioritizing your health, you're prioritizing, your abundance, comfort, and stability. And I feel like you're picking your battles very, very wisely. You're not taking on too much. And I feel like the early part of this year is going to be, you receiving a lot of blessings with this Eight of Wands because you have been in this energy of, surrendering, knowing that you deserve the best, using your energy wisely to do things that you know are going to benefit you. Everything's really going to align. Like the Wheel of Fortune has been turning this whole time without you having to do anything. But the fact that you've changed your behavior and you've changed the actions that you're taking is extremely powerful in terms of accelerating this process of manifesting your dream life or manifesting whatever it is that you're trying to manifest into your reality. So let's look at the last half of 2020. Wow, beautiful. So the Star. So this is, wish fulfillment. This is you getting what your heart is truly desiring, what it's always desired. And especially in this deck, this feels like a very empowered energy, like empowerment through surrender to the divine, surrender to, wisdom and knowledge beyond, you, and really letting go of the sort of emotional baggage that you've been holding on to from past heartbreak, past pain, all that kind of stuff. Just sacrificing that so that you can welcome in what's really truly meant for you. Just making room, I feel like the last part of the year is going to be kind of magical for you. You have the Chariot card, which is about, moving forward. You could actually be physically moving. You could be traveling, but I feel like this could also be just like moving forward in your spiritual journey, moving towards what's really truly meant for you. I'm also getting like creativity vibes. Because of the God of Wands and the Goddess of Wands, the fiery energy just like really relates to creativity. So I feel like with the Chariot, which actually symbolizes Cancer energy, it's like a cardinal energy, which is about like pushing forward and trying new things. I feel like this is about you really putting yourself out there in different ways than you had before. This is a departure from what you're used to. So if it's not, you expressing yourself creatively, it's, you creatively sort of approaching how you can achieve your goals. And then you have the Judgment card here, which is about really choosing to embrace your higher self, your higher mission, and the universe embracing you back. This is you really acknowledging the truth. And I feel like especially if you've been afraid of, success or failure in the past, if you've been afraid of fully embracing your mission or fully jumping into it, I feel like the latter part of this year is going to become so, so, so clear what you're meant to be doing with your time and energy, what your purpose is, what your gifts are to others. And I feel like as long as you're walking that path, the blessings are just going to keep multiplying over and over and over again. But I feel like there's going to be this major sort of acknowledgement that there's no going back, that you're accepting your mission and any sort of resistance you had to that in the past are just kind of falling away. So you have the Son of Swords here, which is about really, I think, just being intellectually curious, really also, trying not to get too ahead of yourself, like not trying not to move too quickly. Um, just taking your time as much as possible. I feel like the only sort of danger there is that you rush into things and you just like move fast and break things, and you know that's not necessarily a bad thing for some people, but I think for you it can kind of discourage you from fully embracing what you're meant to be doing or going further into it because maybe you don't like failure. So I feel like the Son of Wands can be very fearless, very determined as well. um but he can also be a little like hasty. So we have the Nine of Wands, which I think is really about, again, like ending the year on this note of like realizing like how knowledgeable you are, like how many spiritual lessons you've learned. You've accumulated a lot of wisdom and knowledge based on your experiences, and you're going to use that experience to really make the best decisions for how to like build, like further build upon whatever foundation you built in 2020. But I love how, this reading doesn't speak too much to like really fixed energy. There isn't a lot of like um there aren't a lot of pentacles cards. It's not like a lot of fixed energy. Like anything really is possible this year, and I feel like things will be moving quickly for you, um moving back and forth a lot, or just like, the journey is not linear, is what I'm getting. So in order to make those connections, between the different things you're going through, you are going to need to take some time to reflect. You can't just be moving forward too quickly, otherwise you'll miss the point. So we'll look at your love life in 2020. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the Son of Cups, which is the most romantic card for me out of especially the court cards. Ooh, wow, the Tower wanted to make itself known. So there may be, a very dramatic sort of meeting with this person, with the world. It could come when you're traveling, especially if you're single and you're looking to meet somebody. Um, I'm getting travel vibes in multiple parts of this reading. So, you could definitely be meeting um, potential love interests while you're traveling. I feel like the Son of Cups is also a message for you to really listen to your heart and follow your heart. You have so many tools to be able to tune into that energy and to not overthink it. So you have the Temperance card here, which is really about establishing, a spiritual practice where you feel like you can transmute negative emotions. Because the most important thing here is that you don't want to be taking those wounds, that are lurking in your subconscious into a new relationship, or allow those wounds to eat away at an otherwise happy, healthy relationship. So the Temperance card, I feel like it's you actively transmuting any sort of energies that come up and allowing yourself to purge and allowing yourself to be purified. Like that star energy that came up before, allowing yourself the healing that you deserve. So with the Daughter of Swords, I feel like it's also just about doing your due diligence. Okay. Like don't just accept, what somebody tells you. You need to like do some research on people who come into your life, or who want to come into your life, and just like, you know, use your discernment and be careful, you know, with your energy, with who you share your energy with. I'm feeling like a very like self-protective vibe from this card, and just kind of having your guard up a little, especially if you've been like way too trusting in the past and you've moved way too quickly in relationships. You're an Aquarius. That's like not necessarily like a typical trait of an Aquarius, but sometimes it can be, because we have all these other placements as well. So, you know, you watching this video, you're just meant to hear this message. But I feel like this is for somebody who, you know, has trusted too easily in the past and has like let their guard down too quickly. And I feel like with the Hermit being the card right after that, it's really about not being afraid of, you know, um, looking deeply at yourself, you know, being totally honest with yourself and vulnerable with yourself so that you can have that in another relationship. The Hermit is also about just being super clear about what's actually going to make you happy and what's actually going to fulfill you in a relationship before you get into it. So I feel like if you're single, you're spending a lot of time, you know, soul searching, getting really, really clear, getting really ready, and there's no, you know, sort of rush here. However, I do feel from these cards like a sense of sadness, and a sense of like at the same time like apprehension, like being a little bit hesitant, a little bit worried about moving forward, you know, and um yeah, just it's like you're being patient because you have to and because you know it's the right thing. But I think there's some pain there. So just be really gentle with yourself and be compassionate with yourself during that process. And spend a lot of time cultivating your friendships. You have the Three of Cups here, and this may actually be where you experience the most like love and, you know, like um the kind of the intimacy that you're looking for in a romantic relationship. You may be getting through friendships, and this is like the love life section of the reading, but it could just be love in different ways, you know, love from friends, love from community. But I do feel like getting to know somebody on a friend basis will actually really help spark, you know, your fire anyway, like spark your inspiration with the Daughter of Wands. And I feel like you need to do things that are fun, that are outside of you know, the norm for other people, but also for you, and do things that, you know, are going to allow you to fully express yourself and put yourself out there, so that when people are meeting you in these spaces, they're meeting the real, true, authentic you, and not like a mask, and not like something where you feel like you have to um conform or something like that, because that's not your vibe at all. You don't like conforming. So with the Empress, you know, this is a beautiful, beautiful sign around love, because this is like this is you know, goddess energy of creation. So this is about you really manifesting the love that you want and deserve. And it came out right on top of the Star card, and I just love this combination of these two energies. It's like letting go, and then, you know, receiving what's meant for you. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a really beautiful year for you. Um, it's interesting. I get like a very quiet vibe from this reading. Like besides the Tower card that came out, at the bottom of the deck, that kind of wanted to peek through. And like none of this really feels super dramatic. It feels like just really being in alignment. So if you already feel like you're in alignment, you already feel like you had a really good 2019, I feel like that vibe is continuing here. And whatever you want when it comes to mission, life, love, abundance, it just feels like it's all in your hands to create the exact experience that you want to experience. Okay, so bottom of the deck is contemplation. Just like I was saying before, like piece of advice would really just to like take some time in contemplation, take some time to reflect as much as you can, because it just feels like even though it's kind of a quiet year, it seems like things that are happening, they're shifting. Like maybe not dramatic shifts, but shifts are happening on a constant basis maybe, and you need to carve out that time to really reflect on what's going on. You have higher ground here, which we talked a lot about. It's kind of like rising above the fray, or rising above, like, you know, the sort of view, the sort of like small myopic view that kind of led maybe to a lot of the stress and overthinking you had in 2019. So with the fresh approach, I feel coming out with the higher ground, I feel like you have this opportunity to see things from a higher perspective and have that be, you know, what helps shift things in a positive direction for you. With the perfect setting, I feel like this is about really ending up in the place that you're meant to be and really trusting that. When you do actually get what your heart's been desiring, I think that there may be some fear of it maybe being too good to be true, or like too perfect. And I think that you just have to trust and know that you deserve the very best, and you deserve something even if it seems perfect, you know. I don't feel any sort of naivete from you. I feel like there's a very like cautious, grounded energy about everything. Like you have your eyes wide open, you really see clearly, and you're really taking the right steps to deal with everything right. So yeah, you really just have to trust yourself, and you have to trust the universe, and you have to be grateful for whatever comes in, which I don't think you'll have a problem doing, but I think you might have a fear of something being too good to be true. But if that's the case, just say thank you. So at the bottom of the deck, we have dreams. So this is gonna be a very like powerful year for you when it comes to your third eye. You also have the psychic development card here. So I feel like you're going to be really, really in tune with the higher dimensions. And that's what's going to be helping you break free from whatever kind of cycles of karma you've been in that have maybe kept you grounded or stuck. Like I feel like you're really rising above a lot of that, and you're able to see, you know, very clearly into the past and into the future, which is very cool. I feel like your dreams may be like prophetic in nature. um they may have just like, they just may contain really potent information. So if you don't already have a dream journal practice, or you don't, or you have trouble remembering your dreams right now, um make that something that you know, actively try to connect with, you know, in 2020, that you actively try to connect with your dreams, and try to start a practice and just really stick with it and just see where it goes. Like, you know, I feel like it's also related to your creativity, that you may be more open to channeling, you know, um, art, you know, into the world, beauty, whatever. So I feel like I've already talked about creativity in this reading. Like before I even saw this card, like I just felt like a lot of what this reading is talking about is related to your creativity and really letting that blossom. So really listen to your heart and listen to your guides, and um, just be open to information, you know, from different areas. Just kind of like be a sponge and soak some things up, and be discerning about what really resonates for you and what doesn't, you know. But I really love this combination of cards. It just feels like you're very, very in tune, and that gives you this immense amount of peace and immense amount of power if you use it correctly. Wow, gratitude. If we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. This card comes forth to remind you of the absolute magnificence of this beautiful world we live in. To truly appreciate it is to really open your heart and mind to the magic of nature and the divine matrix of which we are all a part. When you're in the space of gratitude, you're in the space of love and acceptance of what is. There is a deep appreciation of the moment, which allows walls of resistance to break away from within you. Breaking through walls of resistance allows you to address fears, which were ultimately formed by you to keep pain out. By building walls around your heart, however, you are actually keeping pain in and stopping your soul from evolving. Gratitude holds such a high vibration that it can literally break through the strongest, most stubborn walls. Gratitude is one of the highest forms of love you can bestow upon another. When you are grateful, you radiate love. The more love you radiate, the more love reflects back towards you. Being in this space of awe and gratitude literally opens portals to higher frequencies of love to help guide you. There is so much to be grateful for, dear one. There are numerous trees, plants, stars, flowers, beautiful sunsets, snowflakes, and reflecting water drops. Tapping into any one of these beautiful cosmic creations allows us to tap into the universal consciousness of pure love. Allow gratitude to fill your entire being. Immerse yourself with this feeling of wonder and awe. This is the first step to inner transformation. So I love that, and the last card of the reading was this Empress energy. And I feel like that's the love that you're really radiating out. Like, you can see that she's pregnant in this card. It's almost like you're giving birth to more and more love in the world. Whether you're literally having a child or whether you are birthing some creative project into being, whether you're, using your gifts to make other people's lives better, whatever you're doing, you're increasing the vibration of the world, just by radiating that love. And by having gratitude, you're increasing your vibration and you're playing into that whole cycle, which is so beautiful. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if this helped you. And if you're interested in a personal version of this reading, you can find that info down below. And Happy New Year. Bye. Love you.